Hello and welcome to Dad's Our Job podcast, the original footballing podcast for dads by dads. This is your host, Adam Everborough, and I'm joined by Rob and Callum. Guys, how are we getting on?
Evening, yeah. Everyone all right? I'm good.
Yeah, very well. It's been a couple of weeks, so it's nice to touch base and talk about all the things that have been going on over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, 100%.
All the non-happenings by the sounds of it.
All the West Ham and Arsenal related stuff, but yeah, it's all Twitter stuff at the minute, isn't it? So,
Cool. I'll tell you what, West Ham. I'll tell you what, if you get the players that you're linked to, Jesus Christ, you'll be winning the league next year.
yeah, we said that last season, didn't we? Yeah. So we're going to kick off things with parenthood, seeing as though we are a dad's podcast. So, guys, how's your family week been so far?
Me?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, no, Ledge. Yeah, just been busy. It's at the moment, I suppose it's just trying to balance work and the summer term, along with the heat and everything else that comes with the heat. Can I just ask, are your kids struggling sleeping at night?
Yes.
Oh, thank God! I thought it was just
She's
me.
asleep now, but I've just broken the curse.
Yeah. Bo's a kip as well, but he keeps waking up. Well, he's always woke up during the night. We all know this. So I'm going to go on about it again. But the other a couple of days, he's been getting up at 4 o'clock and then not going back to sleep, and then doing a whole day's graft from 4 o'clock in the morning to when he goes back down to sleep at half 7. That's a test of character, especially when you've got to try and smile all day long and not lose your rag and be the model of not wanting to lose your cool. It's challenging.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. Yeah. It is, but also it was Father's Day just gone as well, wasn't it? So how was your Father's Day that weekend?
Yeah, Father's Day was really good. It was nice because Callum and I, our families did something together. We went to the theatre and we saw Pirates Love Underpants, the play. Based on
that was without the kids. That was just for us two.
I would happily have gone without. I would have gone without the kids as well afterwards. I would have gone again. But obviously it's a really popular children's book, and we went and watched the show, and I was already invested. But the performers, it was at the Colchester Theatre. I can't remember what it's called.
Was it at Chelmsford, wasn't it?
No, we went to Colchester.
Was it?
Yeah, it's Colchester.
Oh, my bad.
So
we went to
Mercury. I think it's called the Mercury, something like that. Yeah, and the performers were incredible. They were so funny, and it was one of those shows where like you had all the actors, but the captain, the pirate captain, was a puppet, right? And at no point,
it's a puppet.
Yeah, they're doing this job.
At no point was this alluded to in the play that it was a puppet, really, right? And it was that made it funnier, right? It was a bit like, you know how like in a Muppets Christmas Carol where it is not referenced at all that Michael Caine is human among Muppets, right? Like it's just Michael Caine amongst the Muppets, and we accept that reality, right? That's what this play was, and it was genuinely really funny. But there was one of the cast members had me and Callum in stitches just every time we looked at him. It was like he was like a younger chuckle brother, like a younger forgotten chuckle brother, walking around the stage, and his facial expressions. He could do literally anything he did. I had tears in my eyes.
He was going for an Oscar. The guy was going for an Oscar. He basically lived it. He was a method actor. You could tell. He woke up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and was like,
time to put on my underpants.
You are pirate. Soggy bottom, 100%. He fully embraced it. He was actually really good. To be fair, actually, do you know what else it reminded me? It basically just reminded me of Rob in his 20s in nightclubs, basically.
Or being a Muppet.
My pants on the wrong side.
Yeah. Just fully embracing life, dancing. Yeah. Inappropriate jokes.
You did make an appropriate joke. What did you get up to?
I went to, I had a Father's weekend, if anything, because went round my dad's on Sunday, just for a get together with him and my stepbrother-in-law, stepbrother. Is it stepbrother? Yeah, stepbrother-in-law. Yeah. So all the dads in dad's side of the family went round his house and had some pizza and buffet and stuff, and it was all good. But Saturday actually went to Withenwood.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've
What's
been with
Really good.
We've been there, Cal.
Withenwood, you've been there. The fairy tale thing. You spoke about it ages ago on that podcast.
We went there. It was like
is that the knights and fairies and that?
That's it. Yeah.
That was good with the ponies. Yeah, that was good actually.
That's it. Unicorns.
Yeah.
Unicorns.
What?
Unicorns.
Leprechauns. What?
No, they're under the bridge.
Yeah.
No, but yes, we went there, and it was really good actually. Like, it was a really good day, really hot day. And it was funny. Like, we're walking through, as you know, you go through the forest and you go through the smoke, and you're in the magical world, aren't you? And then you're welcomed by this warrior princess. She goes, "Welcome to Withenwood. I hope you enjoy your stay." And then she just like talking, but I love it how they just stay in character throughout the whole day. Like, someone asked them, "Oh, do you know where the toilets are?" And he goes, "Your toilet quest is over there amongst the hills." I thought, okay, just say it's over there. But
Adam, what are you talking about? That's where they live, mate.
Yeah. They're all good. It reminds me of like NPCs in like role-playing games. You know, when they're like,
yes,
they can't. They only have one
Elder
role.
Scroll or Elden Ring, or whatever it is called.
They're going to send you to get the Elder Scroll or whatever, and that is out, and they give you one crystal for that effort. You know, that kind of thing. And they're just those, aren't they? They're just NPCs walking around.
Yeah.
Existing in this world.
No works in their eyes.
Oh, you used to get that. You used to get that in Pokemon. Do you remember that in Pokemon? And you try and sneak past them, and all of a sudden they quickly turn and they come and get you, and then you have to go pressing A. Like, come on, I just want to get. I know where I want to go. I don't want to keep talking to you. Oh, it's a killer. Or you get in the final destination as well. Oh, mate. And you absolute killer.
Yeah.
Cheers, do you know what? At the moment,
yeah.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, jog on, boys. Right, do you know what I'm finding at the moment, right? And to be fair, this is all my weekends anyway. But so much is going on where we're doubling up or tripling up. Like, I completely forgot it was Father's Day last weekend. There's so much going on. Like,
it happened so quickly, didn't it?
Mate, and I was like, we got next weekend we've got 3 things going on. Like, we're going somewhere in the morning, in lunchtime, and then obviously we're at yours in the evening.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, mate, like, we haven't got a weekend where we're just indoors chilling. Do you know what I mean? It's like just
I feel you, mate.
That's what Ever wants. Then she ain't got to speak to you.
No, Heather don't want to speak to me anyway. Yeah, no, mate, you should seen her face when I said we're doing a podcast. Like, she was buzzing.
I believe you, Callum.
She went upstairs with a bottle of prosecco. She's well happy, mate. Sitting in bed,
That's it.
straw
in the bath, prosecco on, eating strawberries. Doing her best life. I get the opposite. Kerry's downstairs moaning at me because I'm too loud. I'm like, you're gonna be too loud.
Well. I'm in the small room at the front, so I'm good.
She's like, "Why you've only got to talk? Why you got to shout?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The
thing is, I've got these bloody earphones. I've got these bloody earphones in, and I can't hear a thing. Like,
hey,
what? You say something?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a shed in the garden at some point, and then I could just go in there and just do what I need to do in there. But not the biggest shed.
Just go in a windy house.
I could go in the windy house. I could do, but there's no power in there. Sadly,
that's got electricity. That thing, isn't it?
Huh?
That's got electricity. That thing, isn't it?
No, it hasn't. No. But I tell you what, it ain't a bad shout for if you have bean bags and sat on the floor. It's actually quite a nice little space.
I bet that's bigger than your ass. Oh. It took it just so that, like the listeners, if you're not aware, it took him 5 days to build it. Four stories in a swimming pool.
It took him that long because he was taking pictures all the whole time.
Oh, I was doing it for the gram.
Yeah. Oh, look at me.
That was just the topless ones.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Had no hat on. Yeah. So, in terms of like kids stories, any funny kids stories this week?
No.
Hold on. Eva, have you got any funny kid stories?
No fun stories this week. Parenting is hard. That is the story this week. Parenting is tough work, and it has been tough work this week. The weather's been rubbish, and like hyperdrive all the time. It's been a rough week this week. So I am looking forward to the weekend where maybe we can just have some downtime. I'm hoping for a thunderstorm maybe Saturday night because it's going to be really hot during the day. So maybe a thunderstorm will just break everything. The water will come down, will cleanse the world, will cleanse all the children, and then we'll all just rise again on Monday and we'll all be a lot more relaxed and at ease rather than this like highly strung, stressed out week that it's been.
Are you building a boat in your garden or something?
Am I building a boat?
You're preparing for a storm.
Because it would sink.
To be fair, your house has got all the animals 2x2, haven't they? So
got them queuing up to get in, mate. Honestly.
So I've got something for you, right?
Yeah.
So Bo's come home from nursery today, and I thought she was joking, but basically the lady looks after Bo was like, he's had a mud bath and he's done this and he's done that, and he's had a spa day, she said, and then I'm like, oh. Lovely, nice, cheers, yeah, cool. Thinking like she was just bantering me, or like having a bit of a laugh. I come home, no lies, lads. He's had a full foot match. I've got pictures of her giving him sitting there. He's got cucumbers on his eyes, giving a foot massage. I said to Heather, when I used to go to nursery, we were lucky to get a piece of paper and a pencil to do drawing, mate. Do you know what I mean? And we had an asbestos roof when we went to nursery as well. I've just found that. And there's he's sitting out in the garden in the sun, 2 cucumbers on his eye. And he had the cheek to say to me, "Oh, Daddy, when I was finished with him, I ate them as well." He's literally, boys, I'll send you the video. He's sitting there and getting his foot creamed, and I'm like creamed and having his feet massaged. Mate, I can't even ask Heather to massage my feet. Let alone some woman from nursery.
Well, that's what was happening in nursery.
She was giving a foot massage, and he's got cucumbers on his eyes, Rob.
To Bo?
Yeah.
I want to start nursery. I want to.
I know, that's what I just said.
Cucumbers.
Yeah.
On my eyes.
Yeah. He had a mud bath. they set this thing where
where else did you put your cucumbers from?
I don't know. I want them on my eyes. That's where I want them.
Not on your nipples.
What chaps, mate?
No, they won't cover them. They won't cover them, will it?
Chaps. What's the matter?
Not with them meatballs nipples, mate.
Meatballs.
I haven't got meatball nipples, you pleb.
Oh, mate.
Oh, God. You've got a couple of CDs.
Where's this coming from?
To the plate.
Oh, God.
I'm sweating here.
I regret putting on a football top so bad.
Oh, mate.
Maybe you'll find out telling the truth in a minute, Az.
Well, you've got to have some rice with those meatballs, haven't you?
Hey, that's disgusting. You guys are fine.
I kept it topical, mate. I kept it topical.
You guys are fine.
God.
I don't know what I've done to deserve this. Oh.
No, man. Yeah. Yeah, but basically, Bo's been living his best life. Absolutely living his best life. Oh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, what about hang on, I've lost track of what we were talking about now.
Sorry, it's the meatballs on the nipples gag that got me, isn't it? It's honestly those that are just joining, like rewind. That is classic. Cal's going.
It's disgusting behaviour. It's inappropriate for the internet. That.
You know what? When you said meatballs on nipples, I instantly thought of like the Domino's pizza. You know, like the meat feast. That could be your nickname, Rob. Meat feast.
Can we stop?
Rob can start an OnlyFans.
Nice feet. I've got nice feet.
Yeah.
You
run barefoot though, didn't you?
My feet are nice. Callum will back me up
Run
on
with
this.
the earth.
Callum will back me up on this. I've got nice feet. If any of you guys want some pictures of feet with Marmite on, let me know.
What? With Marmite on?
Whatever your kink is, Marmite, peanut butter, honey, I got you.
Fucking hell. We're not that hard up, are we? Surely.
Listen, mate, you can make some good money on feet pictures.
Mate, I've got feet like knickknacks, so I ain't going to get anywhere.
But no, I wouldn't want to see your feet, mate.
I got
feet like knickknacks, toenails like quavers.
Oh. That's disgusting. If your toes are like quavers, you need to get that sorted out, bruv.
I ain't got toes, just cut them off. I just stubs.
Yes, get the saw out at the garage.
Guys, that's disgusting. Can we? Oh man, what's that cheese? That really thin cheese. That's like crumbly cheese that they put on pasta.
What, Parmesan?
Is that what it is when they scrape the Parmesan?
Not that.
They scrape it and then break up. They put on the ground. That's not ideal. One of that. One of that.
Brie. I was thinking brie.
Well, like that.
Cream.
No, that looks bad at all. Cal, give me your grating cheese motion. How did you grate the cheese?
Cam looks like he's trying to make a fire. Right, well, that fell down.
Lads, come on, let's focus because we're going all over the gaff at the moment. What's going on?
No, it's fine. This is the beauty of Thursday Night Live.
Did you just make that up? You stop doing things like this.
What, Thursday Night Live?
Alive. What is that?
Alive.
Oh, mate. Oh, can I listen? Right, I know that we're probably going to mention it later on. This Club World Cup, I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Oh, this FIFA Club World Cup. Why are you having it?
I'm not having it. Have you watched any of these games? Have you watched any?
Yeah,
They're like pre-season games.
I don't know. I think when you look at the Bayern Munich Auckland City game where it's 10-0, then yes, yes, it was a pre-season game.
It's Real Madrid game.
It's
I thought it was going to be.
Who?
The Real Madrid game.
Yeah,
it's like watching like Bourne would play Arsenal's first team or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going through an emotion?
I mean, look, FIFA are going to have a look at it because the tickets haven't sold. Apparently, they've like slashed the ticket prices. People aren't going to the games. The games aren't. I actually don't hate the concept, but I don't think they haven't done enough to make people interested. The only people who are interested are the teams that want to win 100 million quid, or euros, or dollars, or whatever. Right? Other than that, there's not enough of a buy-in, like for people to want to go and. You know, you need to create like it needs to be like a massive festival. That's what the vibe needs to be. It needs to be like, you know, like a World Cup. Everything's in close proximity. Everyone's like vibing from one place to the next. All those little details, and that does not seem to be coming across.
Because it's in America.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
I was just about to say that. I think it is because it is in America, and the thing is, club football, international tournaments, fine, but club football, despite it being at a world stage, it's never really going to kick off in America because they've got basketball, they've got baseball, they've got ice hockey. They've got all these sports in front of soccer over there. I'm saying soccer
bowling.
for the context.
Bowling.
Ten-pin bowling. Pool. Horse racing. But I think there's lots of sports. There's lots of paddle. I heard paddle's all the range. Yeah, but the thing is, they've got all these sports in front of soccer. If this competition was held in a traditionally footballing rich area,
Culture, Europe.
Yeah, like Europe or South America, for instance. Like if they held it in Brazil, like it would get a lot more traction and a lot more appealing. But also, the time differences are quite bad, really, when you think of it. Like you've got to kick off at 5 o'clock, then you've got to kick off at 7, and then there's a game at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
it's like I can't sit up at 2 o'clock in the morning and watch Juventus beat Al in 5-0. I can't be bothered with it. I'll just go and watch the highlights. Like it's live viewership, I think, is the issue with that. But I must admit, I did enjoy the Benfica Boca Juniors game. That's the only game I've watched and I've actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I watched the Bayern game and I was just like, this is just, it's not even entertaining, is it? Like,
no.
I appreciate the Boca Juniors. I think I was working when the Boca Juniors game was on.
Yeah, it was a great game. There was sendings off and everything. Like it was great.
I don't know. I actually think that I do think the Club World Cup will have legs in it, and I do think it will get better. I think you're probably right. It shouldn't have been held in America. If you're going to go big, because this was the time when they were actually going big for the Club World Cup, weren't they? Like you could see that there was a real incentive from FIFA, more so than perhaps before, to really build this up. And it's been really deflating. I think the location has probably got something to do with that.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of people have been sort of pissed off with it a little bit because of this kind of like double window that people had to put up with as well. I think a lot of people have found that irritating.
Especially Arsenal fans.
Well, we'll talk about Arsenal, but I think in general, and there's this ridiculous prize money for it. But then isn't the prize money contextual? So like if a team from Europe win it, they get 100 million, but if a team from like Asia win it, they don't get as much. Is that right?
Yeah, as the participation fee. So every club in Europe gets 40 million.
Right.
But Auckland City, for instance, gets something like 4 million. Because
what's the point of doing it?
Yeah, but they're the best in that region. Like, unfortunately, the infrastructure, the footballing infrastructure in Australasia or Oceania region is going to be less developed.
Is that something to do with television rights? Is that because they don't have much of a draw, and that's why they're only going to get 4 million? It's just the quality of the teams that are in the different continents, isn't it? Like obviously you're going to get European teams are obviously going to be a lot better than Asian teams. You'd like to think.
But then is that also contextual for like the income of that team? Because if you give Auckland City 40 million euros, all of a sudden they're basically Chelsea, aren't they? They're going to be the Chelsea of that region. So I suppose you want to encourage the participation. I mean, I don't like it really. I don't like the idea because I don't like that. I think that's ridiculous. How can you have different prize money for different people? Well, let me finish it, Cal. Like if a European team is get 40 million for participation, and then this Australasian team or Auckland are getting 4 million, if that's contextual to the income of, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to create like a situation where Auckland City are now miles ahead of everyone because they won a competition once and they got invited to the Club World Cup and this league ahead of their own division. Like that can't be right either, can it? So I get it. I just don't like it. Maybe everyone should just get 4 million quid. Like I don't know. Like I know that's a ridiculous thing to say as well, but it just seems a little bit elitist, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm just looking here. So Malawi Sundowns, they get $9.5 million
if they win it.
Just for playing in this competition.
What's the prize money?
Prize money. Just looking now. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Is the prize money the same? Is the prize money?
Come on, now, you're meant to be tech go guy. You should have this on there.
Right. There is a total prize money pot of $1 billion.
Jesus.
With 525 million dished out to teams for just participating.
So there's a 425 million. Yeah.
So it's 475 million that will be given out based on how they do during the competition. So every team gets a share of $525 million.
Cheese and bread.
Then those that progress, the top 2 in each group, go on to the knockout stages. They will all get a share of 475 million.
Okay.
Based on how they progress in the group. So Malawi Sundowns, you think like if they get 9.5 just participating, if they win their group, they get another 7.5 million, and then if they go to the next group, they get another 7.5 million. So a team from South Africa could actually get $40 million
just by getting past 2 rounds.
You've got to think that would go quite far as well, right?
Yeah, especially because you think they're just going to go out. Everyone's going to benefit from it, really.
Yeah,
if you've got one club that's doing well in that league, because what they're going to do is they're going to go out and buy all the best players in that league, but then all the other clubs will benefit because they'll raise their price value in their players, so then they'll benefit from it as well. So, let's say it's feeding the beast to feed others, isn't it? And
yeah, I see that.
The only trouble is though is that you've got to get through all them stages. It's right going, oh yeah, he gets 40 mil, but as Adam just said, they got to get past the group stage to get past the next stage, and 40 million. And you're talking about them playing against the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
What's the chance of them getting past next rounds?
Also, this is interesting. So, although the transfer window opened up 10 days earlier, didn't it? And then it closed earlier. That was to allow the first squad registration for the group stage. Transfer window's closed. Now it's reopened again. So these teams can still buy more players. And then when they get to the knockout stages, they have to do a squad registration again. So they could buy someone after they've played their group games, progress, and then they can register new players to that competition.
Damn. So, sorry, Ed. When has the transfer window reopened again? Then.
Yeah.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
When?
Sorry,
I'm so out of the loop. I've
Monday,
literally been just working and sleeping.
It's beginning of the week, yeah.
Bloody
hell. Monday.
So how much of a gap was there then?
10 days.
Yeah. So he had 10 days and 10 days rest.
When even that, was it? When even that?
No.
They might as well just followed it through. It just was all that build up for what?
They might as well just extended it and then shut it earlier, shouldn't they?
Yeah,
before the season started. This is what I was going to lead on to in my rant about transfer window later on.
Sorry, I'm so out of the loop. I'm so out of the loop, like with things. I didn't like. It's just as you just said, like they made a massive build up. I thought it won't open for another like a couple of weeks.
No.
Wow. Oh, okay, fair enough. I don't know. Again, it's just publicity for publicity, isn't it?
They've won money from the group stage, and they can go spend it to get even stronger in the group in knockout stages.
I suppose that's quite cool. I mean, it'd be quite good if actually any clubs do any business. That's the thing. Is it's only interesting if clubs do business now. If they do no business, it's not interesting, is it?
No, that is the issue, isn't it? That is the issue. But what's your thoughts on the transfer window then so far? As we're talking about it.
I mean, other than Liverpool and Man United, I mean, Liverpool and Man United have been particularly busy, or have been tried to be busy. Man City have been busy. They're buying a lot of young players, or players that are maybe less pricey than perhaps they have bought in the past. I think that's something interesting to note, maybe, and what the reasons for that might be. And then, is it Brighton have been quite busy? Everyone else seems to have been quite keeping their cards to the chest. But I mean, Liverpool have gone the biggest, earliest, haven't they? Getting work straight into their team, and I think I mean, by the looks of it, he's a good player. I mean, he's going to have to be for the money. I think there's a lot of talk if you look at like Declan Rice hitting the ground running, and he's cost more than Declan Rice. So, and he's an attacking midfielder, so you've got to expect that he's going to have a high goal and assist ratio for the season because that's what his job is. So it'll be interesting to see how he copes with the transition from the German League to the Premier League.
Yeah,
There's a lot
he's
of
got a
pressure on
big
the boy,
price
isn't
on
there?
his head, doesn't he?
Well,
A lot of pressure on the lad.
he might thrive in that kind of environment and show us all. So who knows?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, 100 was it 130? Was it 100?
I think it's like
How much was it?
it's like a record transfer, isn't it, for Liverpool? So
Yeah, it's beating Caicedo, isn't it? Caicedo was 113, I think.
yeah, I think it's the most expensive, and his wages are high as well. I think his wages are quite high too.
Yeah.
And you've got
I
to think
mean,
is on there as well. So
I think Bournemouth have been. Go on, Cal. So go on, mate.
no, because I'm actually going off topic, so get going. You carry on if you
Yeah, I
want
was
to
going
talk
to
about
say
the
that
fella.
some of the transfers that have actually happened so far that have gone in. So basically, Arsenal, there's no one, but you've had a few sales, which has got quite a few players off your books, hasn't it? Aston Villa bought Yassin Ozcan from Kassim Passa. Then Bournemouth have got Eli Junior Krupi, who West Ham were interested in. They also bought Adrian Triffe from Rennes, who I think is a good defender. He's basically going to be the replacement for when Kirkus leaves. Interestingly, so Bournemouth are already doing deals. They signed that Krupi earlier on this year, but then it's just activated in. Brentford have signed Michael Kayade from Fiorentina, Ramil Donovan from Birmingham, and Kelleher from Liverpool. Yes, they've been busy. Brighton, Diego Coppola from Hellas Verona, Tom Watson from Sunderland, who scored the winning goal in the playoff final. Yoon Do-young, Korean international, and they've bought this guy from Olympiacos for £32 million. It's Charlampos Kostoulis, who's an 18-year-old Greek sensation, and they've bought him for £32 million. And it's the 19th of June.
do you think that that might mean João Pedro's going?
Well, he's been linked and he will move to Newcastle.
Does that mean
this kid is 18? I mean, I wouldn't bank Brighton winning anything, pinning your hopes up on an 18-year-old that's had a couple of good seasons in Europe. But he's highly rated, no doubt about it. But
I also think that they've still got Danny Welbeck. If they do sell João Pedro,
I think he's gone. I think Welbeck's gone now.
Is he?
I think so. Yeah, I think because he posted something on Twitter about thanking Brighton or something. So I think his contract might have expired. I'll be surprised if he is still there.
Okay. But I mean, they could. Newcastle could. I mean, Brighton could ask practically anything, really, couldn't they? Up to. You've got to think up to 60 million.
Yeah.
Because they're in the driving seat, really.
Yeah.
But if they do sell João Pedro, you've got to think, what does that mean for Isak? Haven't you? Because by the looks of it, it's Liverpool who are pushing the hardest for him.
Yeah.
So if they do sell João Pedro to Newcastle, does that mean that Isak is going to be on the move? And that'd be something that's probably quite interesting and worth looking out for. God, can you imagine if Isak came up on the market? Wow. And then if he did go to Liverpool, wow.
Yeah.
That would be incredible, wouldn't it?
And then he'd be a flop. Wow.
The other thing that could happen, though, in fairness, is that Newcastle sell João Pedro and then sell Anthony Gordon to Liverpool. I could see that happening more than Isak going to Liverpool, if I'm being honest. And I'm not just saying that because I don't want Isak to go to Liverpool. That's like the worst thing. That is the worst thing that can happen in this window now, especially after the signing of Wurtzer. But I think I can more likely see Pedro to Newcastle, Gordon to Liverpool. I think that's possible. And then Diaz or someone like that to Barcelona. That's the round robin I could see, I think, potentially happening.
Yeah, potentially.
And then if Barcelona do then get Diaz, Barcelona have got to sell, and they've got some decent players they could sell because they're getting Nico Williams, aren't they?
Is that confirmed? Is it, or is it?
I think that's all. Maybe they don't go for Diaz then if they get Williams. Maybe not. But if they do still go for Diaz, then they've got people like Rafinha there. Like it was like Ballon d'Or potential, wasn't he? Like a couple of months ago. So it's a bit crazy what could go on at Barcelona.
To be fair, Rob, you've sort of led me into what I wanted to mention to you boys was obviously with the social media around Arsenal, and loads of Arsenal fans are going, why have we not done no business? Why are Liverpool doing this, Man United doing that? And we haven't got no one through the door. We should do our business early, blah, 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 blah. Arsenal are like, the bloke who goes to the bar and buys loads of drinks for everyone. I'm sure you've seen the Instagram posts and the Twitter posts, TikTok posts are, he feeds all these girls with drinks, but then he goes home with no one. Yeah, and Arsenal are going to end up buying no one and all this nonsense that I keep hearing.
Sounds like my night out in Brannigan's in Romford.
Hopefully a few years ago, Adam.
Last week.
Yeah.
Sure, Brannigan's in the flats now in Romford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it probably is now, yeah.
It is,
probably not even there.
It's got a Wendy's at the bottom of it, I think.
There was a Wendy's in there some years ago, mate.
To be fair, that's probably a good thing with Adam's DNA everywhere. But as
blood from the bouncers, I think. But yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking more being sick, but we're going to that.
Well, that you could go that way. Yeah. Definitely wasn't the other fluid. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, Rob's just sort of hit that. No, yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not stressing. No, they wouldn't bring in. What's his name, Rob? That director of. Yeah, they won't bring him in unless they're going to make some signings. Anyways, I know we've all spoke about that already, but everyone keeps moaning. Hey?
Mute yourself, Adam.
Type in.
Yeah.
I'm asking our watchers what their thoughts are on the transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly stressed out. I mean, I know Arsenal fans are going bananas all over the gaff and saying, "Oh, why are we not going on in?" But I do think we will get people through the door. But I think Arsenal are trying to be clever because, as Rob just said, certain deals are going to open up certain deals. Certain other deals, sorry, or open up certain players that maybe wouldn't be on the market until someone comes in the door. And I mean, obviously, we all know that Arsenal got their certain targets that they want to get in.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think a lot of the talks have been done, and it's just sort of waiting. Arsenal would love to do this big whole media expo and this big release and this big draw on Instagram and TikTok. And to be fair, we do all love it, but it's just that we wish it was done a bit earlier, I suppose. But I think Arsenal also trying to be savvy in the sense of, who could potentially come on the market with other teams making big sales. I think the only worry that I have is Arsenal then waiting too long and then having to pay big money. Well, not that I care about the money because it's not my money, but paying big money to get the players in that they want, or other players that have come on the market. I don't know why I'm talking about overpaying because I don't really care as long as we get the players in. But yeah, like I say, it's that whole risk of paying big money for someone and then there being a flop. But then you've got that risk with any player, isn't it? I suppose. But
I also think though, Cal, that Berta's being quite shrewd. I mean, he's got a bit of a reputation anyway for being quite a clever negotiator, and it looks like we are trying to seduce both Gyökeres and Sesko, and by doing that, by them both quite publicly, one more openly than the other. Gyökeres has been quite clear he wants to come to Arsenal. Sesko's agent has been a bit more like subtle, special project, a special team, which are all sort of words that have been used around Arsenal. But they've all been quite public in wanting to go to Arsenal. Well, that's a bargaining tool because now you can use that as you don't want to do it for this deal? That's okay. We've got Gyökeres waiting. You don't want to do it for that? That's okay. We've got Sesko waiting. And it's not really clear who the main target is. You'd probably think it was Sesko, but if you look at some of the outlets that are saying things, it's I think Fabrizio, I think even Romano has said that we've struck a deal with Gyökeres. it's hard to know where the deal actually is. And that puts Arsenal in quite a strong position from a negotiation point of view, because they can say, well, actually, we could probably drive the price down here a little bit because your player publicly wants to come to us. And if you don't do the deal where we think it's a little bit more acceptable, we'll just go and do the deal with the other one. So I think that from that perspective, I think Arsenal are, and that's just the players that we want to bring in. Let's not forget that since Bert has been in, Zubimendi's all but done. I know that was a lot of Edu's work, but Zubimendi's all but done. Gabriel, the King of Brazil, has signed a new contract.
Oh, my favourite player. I love him so much.
Yeah, but it looks like Saliba, MLS, Nwaneri are all... Do you know that there's been a media thing set up tomorrow at Arsenal? So,
oh, really?
It looks like someone's extended their contract, but we don't know who it is. It's probably going to be...
Yeah, I was going to say Skelly. Yeah, I was going to say Skelly.
Ornstein was the one who publicised it. So it looks like it's going to be Skelly, but that's going to be a really big day tomorrow. So I also think that Arsenal getting things sorted out before they become issues. I think what's a shame is it looks like doesn't look like it's happened. It's Carlos Cuesta. Is that how I say his name? He's joined Palmero. Is that who he's the manager of now?
The coach, as first team manager, I saw
Palmer.
that. First team coach, Palmer.
Yeah. So he's joined them, and which is fine. Good luck to him. Congratulations. It just shows how well he's done for Arteta and how well Arteta has done for him. That's great. It's a bit sad, but I also think it opens up the potential for someone like Santi Cazorla to come in, or even maybe Jack Wilshere to come in and do.
And he got to Norwich, Jack Wilshere.
No, he left.
Oh, did he?
He left. Yeah, Liam Manning is the manager of Norwich now.
Oh, okay.
So there's potential for someone. I mean, I'd like to see Santi come in. He's always said that after he retired, he wanted to come and work for Arsenal, didn't he, as a coach? So that could be quite a cool thing, especially for like the tippy-tappy midfielder that he was. He'd be great for someone like Odegaard, or in the build-up play for Arsenal. Arteta was always more of a defensive-minded player. So, having someone like Santi in there with him, I think that could be pretty good. I think there's quite a lot to be excited about, actually, and I think people are upset because they haven't seen what they wanted straight away. I do think I know we haven't, but we are going to speak about them. I know we're speaking about transfers right now, but having seen Arsenal's first 6 fixtures, I do think there might be a little bit more of an incentive to get the deals done and get the players embedded within the squad, because Arsenal's first 6 fixtures are pretty tough.
Lots of people are saying that we're only going to get 7 points out of the first 6. Out of an 18-point, so possible 18. Lots of people are saying they can only see us getting 7.
But you could say that actually about City potentially. You could say that about maybe not so much Liverpool, but you could say the same about City.
Also, but we're not great starters to the league, are we? We normally bleed into the league.
Yeah, but I'd be interested.
It'd be good to get those fixtures out of the way, trying to get as many points as you possibly can, isn't it?
Well, we play 2 of our most.
But you say that they're the biggest games, mate. They're the games that you want to play, and I'm not being funny. To start the season,
you've got 38 big games.
Arsenal, you'd be buzzing, mate. No, but I mean, to have 6 big games in a row like that. That's like every game's a bank. Like you've got to go and like that's a. As a fan, I'm like, mate, 80 games on TV now. Let's be honest, them first 6 Arsenal games are pretty much going to be on TV. 218. No, 80%. Sorry, 80%. Sorry, I meant 80%.
Yeah, 218 games. It was 125 last year. It's 218 this year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, mate. I can't wait. You listen. No need for a dodgy box anymore. You just get on Sky, mate.
So are we talking about transfers, or are we moving on to fixtures?
No. Sorry, no. Keep talking about. Can I just say about the transfers? Do you think that we get both boys in? Do you think we get Gyökeres and?
I think there's a world. I think there's a world where it's possible, but I do think Arsenal want a left winger, it's been quite public that Arsenal want a left winger. Arsenal are looking at Rodrigo. Real Madrid. He played on the right yesterday, which wouldn't have made him happy. He wants to play left midfield. So that's quite a public statement from Xabi Alonso to not play him in his preferred position. Does that mean that Rodrigo's on the market? It would be good for Arsenal if he was, I think. If not, if Arsenal did sign both, I wouldn't dislike it. But they would still have to sign a left winger for me. Like I still think that Arsenal needs to sign a left winger. Just someone who does something different to Martinelli, because I don't want to see Martinelli leave, but I think there needs to be a different type of player to Martinelli there. And Trossard has scored some really important goals, but he's also very inconsistent as well. And he's getting older, and he's the type of player that Arsenal could potentially cash in to help sort of substitute some of the payment that might cost a Rodrigo, who is going to cost 90 million euros minimum.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
So I think I would like to see Arsenal sign a left winger. I think also what's important for us to consider here as well is that it's looking more likely that Partey's going to leave.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That opens up some issues for us, and there's two ways to look at it. Arsenal have been linked with two players. One's a left back and one's a defensive midfielder. Arsenal have been linked with Hato at Ajax, who is a left back and a left centre back. They've also been linked with, I think it's Agume, and he plays for Sevilla. He's about 23. But he is a defensive midfielder. So if Arsenal did let Partey go, he could be available for a relatively affordable price to come in and be the understudy. The only problem with that is we've lost Jorginho and Partey in the same window, which I think is dangerous, because then you've got Zubimenti, who's never played in the Premier League, and Agume, who is not a finished product yet. So I almost prefer the idea that we buy Hato, because Zinni looks like he's on his way. We've already lost Tierney. I almost prefer the idea of bringing in Hato from Ajax and then using MLS to start developing for the central defensive midfielder role. I really think that Arsenal already have a Partey replacement in the team, and I think it's Marvelous Skelly.
As long as he gets a chance there, yeah, I agree.
I think he's incredible. I really do, and I think that's maybe the other thing that we could potentially be considering here.
I think he's one of a generation. I think he's that good.
Yeah, I think he's that good as well. I think that all the talk was about Maneri, and Skelly has really, really shown what a special...
I actually think he's going to be bigger than Saka. I think, that everyone goes, the Makaleli position, or, like the Rodri position now, or whatever. Yeah. I think in years to come, I'm not talking about right now, but 5-6 years, it'll be the Miles Lewis, like, even for England, it'd be like the Miles Lewis Skelly position, or Skelly position.
What, pushing him into defensive midfield, Cal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. He's played there a few times. He can tackle, he can carry, he can release, he has great vision, he's fast.
He's got great temperament.
I know, he's got... It's not temperament, mate. That boy's mentality is unreal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's
Go to the Bernabeu, and especially after like some of the red cards he had in the season, things like that, and the way that the media piled on top of him, the way they did with Sterling back in the day. I think he's a wonderful talent. Apparently, apparently there's talk about him wanting to be the next Arsenal captain as well, and I just love the fact. Yeah, he wants to be. Wow. He wants to be not the next one. Then he wants to be an Arsenal captain, and I just love the fact that that kind of thing is what he's saying about himself. He doesn't just see himself as a bit part player at Arsenal or a part of the team at Arsenal. He sees himself as a potential the man at Arsenal, and I love that. I love that kind of mentality because he's 18. He's holding his own in a team of really good footballers. Right? He kept
arguably the second best team in the country.
Yeah, he kept Calafiori out of the team, and Calafiori isn't bad, right? He kept Calafiori out of the team. He kept Zinni out of the team. Tierney didn't even get a look in. Like, this boy is unreal, and he's playing out of position. It's not even his position.
Yeah,
it's just defensive midfield. He came in and did a favour. He's incredible. So I would like to see him actually push into. I wouldn't hate it if he stayed in left back, but he's the type of player I would love to see in the middle of the park, behind Rice, interchanging with Rice. I'm sure Zubimendi's going to be great, and I'm not even going to be talking about this in 3 months' time, right? I'm going to be saying about how Miles Lewis-Skelly and Zubimendi are switching positions from left back to defensive midfield. That's what I'm probably going to be talking about in a couple of months' time. But I just think he has got so much. His ceiling is so high, and if it is him who is signing the contract tomorrow, that is as exciting as a Gabriel or a Saliba re-signing.
I think it's just as big, if not bigger.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's a comment here from usual suspects. Watching Skelly, it looks like he has no self-control at the moment.
I would recommend that maybe he's not watching Skelly at all then.
What do you mean? What sort of comment is that? What do you mean no self-control?
He's not watching closely enough.
No, but
probably
what
for England, if anything. Probably England recently.
No, who cares about England?
That's fair enough. Okay, so here's a question. This is a West Ham related question. Evening, guys. What are your thoughts on Sean Whetstone posting that we are only putting 75% transfers back into the team? So those.
Hang on. Can I just address the usual suspect question first? Fouls all the time. Actually, my friend, the percentages are that he gets fouled more than he fouls. So I'm going to have to agree to disagree with you on that. He gets fouled way more than he gets fouled. He gets fouled way more than he actually fouls. So we'll have to agree to disagree there.
Yeah.
Also, I would argue that the fouls for the team, the fouls that he gives away, the team needs to give them away at that time. Reset. We get up. We hold our position. Yeah, they're worth it.
Cal, the actions of a future captain, right there. The actions.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll take one for the team. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Adam. I'm sorry. Sorry. Go.
That's no, that's fine.
Flying someone in the neck is okay as long as they don't score.
Michael, we'll go back to this question in a bit when it goes on to West Ham sort of content. So keep watching, and I'll answer this question in a minute. But we have a guest. We have a guest on the show. He's a friend of the show. Rob loves this guy, and it is Tabs. One and only Tabs.
Hello,
Here he is.
How you doing, fellas? You all right?
Hello, mate. You all right?
All right, Tabs, please.
Very good. I'm enjoying a beer. Unfortunately, it's only a ginger beer, but it's all I can manage at the moment. So.
Hey, we'll have a ginger beer, mate.
Yeah.
Is that what you? Go on.
How
you all doing?
That's not Cockney rhyming. That's not Cockney rhyming. Don't go there.
I was going to make some ginger-headed joke or something like that, but I was too slow. So there we go.
Who's ginger? Is someone ginger in this chat?
Sorry, strawberry blonde. Sorry.
So, Tabs, what's dad life like at the minute? You was telling me you was going to a prom.
No, not me. My daughter. No, dad life is pretty good at the moment because the kids have. My son's completed his A levels, so a couple of weeks back, and my daughter just finished GCSEs on Monday. So it's a very chilled household. Unfortunately, they're now all around all the time. So it used to be quiet, and my daughter had 4 of her friends around today, and they're all decorating their shirts for when they go back to school for signing day or whatever it is. This sort of stuff never happened in nowadays, but they go back into school and everyone signs the shirt and sends messages and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we went out and had a celebrated dinner last night, and yeah. So at the moment, dad life is pretty good until we get the results. Then we'll see what happens.
Feel like being an Arsenal fan at the minute, then. Exactly. Just hope for less disappointment at the end of it.
I think there's a lot more riding. I think there's a lot more riding on this.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with bees. All right, there's nothing wrong with bees.
No, my daughter should be fine, but my son's margin for error is not very big. So he's hoping to go to university, and then he's not exactly made life easy for himself in terms of what he needs to get. So we'll see. But I'm confident. I'm confident he'll get. They'll both do really well. They'll put it like this. They, compared to what I've heard and some horror stories, they've been a dream. They've knuckled down. They've got on with it. They've really been actually easy, and we've had to nag them a bit, but they pretty much got on with it. So I'm pretty proud of them actually in terms of the way they've approached it. So yeah. So as a result, my son got the new Arsenal kit as a present. So I don't know if that's a forfeit or a benefit for for some, but
did you get a name on the back?
Say that again.
Did he get a name on the back?
No. I'll let him do that. No, let him do that one. But oh yes, I know what you're referencing now. So yeah, yes. No, he's already got one of the Rice shirts, so maybe this time he'll get Saka on the back. That reminded me. I should have put that on before I came on.
See, you forgot about him already. Some legacy player you bought.
So how's dad life with you guys? How's it all going?
Busy, mate.
Hot. Yeah, it's been a hot week.
So yeah, we've all got little ones compared to you. So all our kids are not sleeping and waking up, and they're not going back to sleep at all. So
you said that we've all got little ones. I say, speak for yourself, Callum.
No, I'm speaking for you. That's what I've been told. To be fair, Tabs, you've come on at the perfect point. We're just sort of debriefing Arsenal's first half of the transfer window, and you're probably the same as me and Rob. I've been watching all the Instagram posts and TikTok posts, and they've been ripping Arsenal. Why are we not done our business? Why are we holding off? Why are we not just doing what Liverpool have done and just go and spend the big money? And I'm talking for myself mainly. I've really tried to not engage and sort of go. There's a longer plan. There's a longer idea, and Rob sort of mentioned not so much around Arsenal, but just in general about possible openings up as the transfer window goes on and people buying people and open up other options. And I'm saying hopefully Arsenal are doing that. What's having an eye out for players that could come up. What's your thoughts? Are you worried? Are you frustrated? Or are you sort of playing long game?
It's June 19th. The transfer window hasn't even been open for 3 weeks yet, and of which it was shut for about 6 days of that. So it's literally been 2 weeks, And if you look back at our record, like one of our earliest signings was Kai Havertz, and that was in July, a couple of years ago. So it's fine. And Liverpool, when they say, "Oh, look at the business all Liverpool have done," they've only signed one player. It's to date. So they've only signed one player. So if we go on the basis, "Oh, Liverpool are doing this and Liverpool are doing that," well, we've then got Kepa, we've then got Zubimendi. We've got irons in the fire for Gyökeres and Sesko. So it's fine. These things aren't easy. They take the time. It is what it is. It's just the only teams that have actually made signings are Chelsea and Man City because they have to because of this nonsense going on in the US. So no, I'm relatively chilled. Obviously we need to get business done before the tour starts when but that's even 6 weeks away. So and it's fine. And so I'm not too worried. And you got to play. You need to get players in for that, but then also certain players we can play the long game. So Rodrigo, we might need to play the long game for, but Zubimendi, a forward, a goalkeeper, we should be getting those done within the next month before the tour starts and before just as preseason starts. So I'm chilled, and basically the people who are posting all this stuff have to sell stuff or have to promote stuff. So every 2 hours, it's sort of it's a non-update. They have to just reinvent non-update after non-update. And it's the same for all clubs. But actually, if you read into it, it's all monitoring, assessing, nearly this, that, blah, 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 blah. And everyone can get really caught up with it. But actually, not a lot has actually happened across any transfers.
I mean, Tabs, what would an ideal window look like for you? Because there's a lot of talk about what Sesko and Gyökeres could be, but I think in terms of the whole concept of the window, what would be a good window for you?
Well, ideally we could get Isaac. Yeah, that would be the ideal scenario, but that's very unlikely to happen. So if you rule that out, no, I would suggest that we do need a goalkeeper. So tick. We do need a replacement for Partey, and we've got that sorted. So tick. I would say we'd need minimum of a centre forward, which we're looking like we've got, and an upgrade on wide left. Okay, so that was it. So we have that, and that's a real impact player, someone to make a difference, someone who's, and this is not to be down on Martinelli because I love Martinelli, but just another level up of Martinelli. So that's 4, and then with that, maybe another right-sided defender who can play right centre back, right back, and maybe then a youthful midfielder because we can bring them in because we've lost Jorginho and we're losing Partey. Hopefully, then we can have someone there, sort of someone there. So I would say those, a minimum of 4, possibly 6, and that would be happy. And names, well, who knows?
Yeah, because I'm with you. I think with the Partey and Jorginho losses, I think that if Partey does indeed go, I think just having Zubimendi might be a problem. I've talked already about MLS. In an ideal world, I would love to see MLS come back into his preferred position. I've already spoken quite a lot about that, so I won't talk about it again. And we've been linked with Agume, I think that's how you say it, at Sevilla.
Yeah.
So I think my only concern is having 2 new defensive midfielders in a team that's trying to push for a title could be a problem. And I think maybe losing both Partey and Jorginho could pose some issues. What do you think?
No, and look, you can always drop Rice into there as well. And actually, to be honest, you're more likely to have Zubimendi and Rice playing at the 6, and Rice playing at the 6 if needed. The reason why you'd get a third option, maybe a younger option, was for when those maybe the less critical games or cup games. So again, you're not stressing the primary players. Yeah. And look, we're going to have plenty of people at 8, plenty of people at 6. MLS, yeah, he's there as an option. I think he still needs to develop as the left back and so on like that. But yeah, I think there are options there. So I'm not so worried because Jorginho hardly played. He was more just a coach on the sidelines. He was more of a coach who could run up and down, pretending to be warming up, and he didn't get involved. So it was only Partey. And actually, for me, the biggest miss about Partey going would be that actually he was backing up at right back. Now the knock-on effect was not great, but when we needed him, because when White was injured and when injured, he was critical in actually playing at right back because Josh Nichols, who was also injured, was the only other option there to play right back. So I'm not so worried about the depth. And again, this is where you come in. If Zubimendi comes in and we get him on the 1st of July, he'll have a month and a half to get ready. Teams are all going to have new players, and so I'm not too worried about that.
Do you think that we will sign a right wing cover? Because I've seen players that we've been linked.
Not right wing.
No, but I mean cover. Because I've seen that we've been linked for maybe like understudies or someone slightly older to cover for Saka.
We're more likely to buy someone who can play left and right. So Rodrigo can play left and right. Semenya can play left and right. Yeah. So we're not going to get anyone deliberately. When Eri is still developing and he's been used in that position. So I think we're unlikely to buy someone specific for the right. I think we'll buy someone on the left who can cover. Martinelli can play left and right. Trossard can play left and right. So no, I wouldn't suggest we would get anyone and not use funds up for that. Unless there was a real market opportunity, someone for 10 mil or something like that we could jump on, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know where Adam's gone. he seems to have disappeared. But I'm going to see if I can message him to see where he is at. But
there he is.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah. We're signing.
I've just been doing admin work, mate. I've just seen online that Arsenal, according to Matt Law, are holding interest in Noddy Madueke.
Yeah, no, I did see that. That's why I was asking about it. I didn't want to mention the name because I was worried you were going to turn your lip up at me, which is what you just did to Adam. But yeah, I did see that we were linked to. I did see we were linked to him. But again, I was a bit surprised because it doesn't seem like it just seems odd that we would then look at cover for Saka when we've got, like you were saying, Tad, people who can do both.
Yeah, no. Well, look, there's a lot of names out there. It doesn't surprise me that wingers at Chelsea are becoming available because that's what they do. They get them for a year and then ship them out and get someone else new, ship them out and stuff like that. So yeah. I mean, look, he can be a decent player. I'm anyone at Chelsea always. Yeah, it grinds my gears.
It's consistency, isn't it? It's consistency. That's the trouble. I think where there's no consistency at Chelsea, these players who potentially are decent, as Tab just said, they're shipped in and shipped out so quickly. I don't think I think it's so hard to judge whether or not they can come into a team where potentially they'll be given 2 or 3 seasons to see if they can actually perform.
He's not an upgrade on what we have. So
No.
the thing is, if we're going to spend money, it has to be that raising the ceiling. You know, people like Madueke like raise the floor. You know, it's great cover and all the rest of it. We need to raise the ceiling, and that's why someone like Rodrigo excites, and he could have the same impact as someone like as Sanchez did when he came, and he sort of give him a more senior role coming from Madrid, give him a senior role, so he's actually one of the main men and not just having to be shifted around because of Vinny Jr. or because of Mbappe. And he could have the same effect.
Do you genuinely think he's going to come?
It could do. Look, who knows? Money talks. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, you know, money talks. And if he's available and he's open to it, why not? And it's a World Cup year, and if he's not playing in his favourite position,
good shout.
You know,
it's
a World Cup year. Real Madrid have bought some 17-year-old from Argentina. They've got the Turkish kid. I think they got the other options, Hendrik as well. So they've got plenty of options there. At the moment, again, Alonso has to say what he says. He's not going to say, "Oh no, surplus to requirements. Off you go, son." Yeah, but so in all of this, they all say what they have to say because they have to, like, you know, because as soon as they say, "Oh, he's available," right, drop the price you wanted to sell, or it's you know, and he has to say, "Oh, I want to like fight for my place so he doesn't piss off the fans and all the rest of it," and it's just all face. And what happens we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I thought we've been talking to their camp and all the rest of it, and we'll see. The only thing with that one might require a few dominoes to fall. That might require something to happen, and that one could be one of those ones that goes on late into the window. Which, as long as we do get someone in, I'm happy for that one to drift, because our priority is the midfielder and the centre forward and the goalkeeper, and that one we can maybe bide our time on.
Yeah, I think over time, I think Kepa will look like good business if that comes off. I think that's going to be really good business.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it is good business, but he is only going to be a cover.
Yeah,
like all it's about, he's going to compete for first place. I can't see it. I know that he had the big price tag originally, but you know, Reyes above him in what I would say is the high standard of goalkeeping. You know, I know he's a great shot stopper, but I think I said in the Instagram post, well, he's a goalkeeper. He should be. You know, that's bare minimum. You know, and I know he can play out from the back. And I think under Arteta, he'd be given more freedom to play out the back, and I think he'd be able to take more risk, and he'd get away with mistakes if he did try to play out from the back. But ultimately, he's not the greatest. He ain't great at coming for crosses, and I think as a goalkeeper in this day and age, that's where you're judged. And Reyes a long way ahead of him on that front. So,
yeah, I mean, he has to say that. He has to say, "Oh, I'm going to fight for a position." Or again, this is just. It is just having to say something for other people to hear, but you know, you know the role you're coming into, or maybe he does believe it, and fine, good, because that would mean it'll push Raya, it'll push in training.
I hope he believes it. He's a professional. I hope he does believe that he's going to come in. Yeah, 100%.
No, but we all know he's number 2. But put it like this: you can imagine if one of our players of the season last year got injured at all for any length of time, and he's due it. He is due that to happen. And you had Neto in goal and stuff like that. So actually, it is great business for 5 million. It's a no-brainer. The Juan Garcia thing. I mean, he's going to be great in 3, 4, 5 years' time, but that would be a struggle for him. Whereas Kepa, I think he wants to be back in London. We'll pay him a big fat wage. He'll get some Champions League cups and all the rest of it. And he'll be fine. And again, it's such an odd position. I mean, look at Scott Carson for City. I mean, how many trophies he's won, and he's for like about 5 minutes of football. And not everyone can have the West Ham situation from the last few seasons where they've got two equally good keepers that they can sort of dovetail and chop and change, and great for fantasy because I had them both, and so whatever happened, I always got points. So that was always a bonus.
I mean, to be fair, Tabs, you hit a good point. Arsenal's history of goalkeepers. If you look at how many goalkeepers that have gone on from Arsenal to make it at other clubs, you know, with our coaching staff at Arsenal and in the goalkeeping range, it's up. It's got to be up there with, I would say, probably the best of producing goalkeepers that have gone on.
We saw Martinez. Martinez, what he's done with Villa.
We just let one go when he turned 40 this season. That's Fabianski.
Fabianski's another one. Yeah, you got the thing at Barcelona. What's his name?
Chesney was at Barcelona.
Chesney. Come out of retirement.
Yeah.
We've got a good history of goalkeepers going on. Or coming in.
Just good goalkeepers as well, by the way. Not just going on, but just good goalkeepers at the club in general as well.
Yeah.
I think one of the benefits also, if we get Kepa in early, for once we can have a season without, or a summer without goalkeeping drama, because actually it's since Mope injured Leno back in the day, and then Martinez got in goal. Every season there's been like chop and change, and it's just been some dramas and stuff like that. So actually, you get Kepa in, clearly a number 2, he'll do his job. Rare's number 1, and we just forget all that drama because we've got too much of it. Yeah,
he's still got the 16-year-old. He made his debut against Bolton, I think, in the League Cup, was it, or FA Cup?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah. I've forgotten his name, but we got Setford and we got Carl Hein as well. Estonia's number 1. So but
don't worry, Adam. You'll buy Ramsdale this summer, and then we'll get him next year as a number 2.
Well, you rate him though, didn't you? Ramsdale?
I do rate him.
I love him, mate. I'll take him. Can you imagine them two at the club? Jesus, mate. I'll be buzzing.
You had them.
We did have him at the club. I don't know. I think we've moved on from Ramsdale. He's he had his year. It was a good year, but then we've moved on. Was it what he said in that interview to Ian Wright that made him go out the door, or was it just actually ability alone?
Well, I heard it was actually that he was going to go to West Ham this year and get them relegated. That's what I heard. But
Mate, we don't need Ramsdale to get relegated. Where are we going in a minute?
Do you know what's really sad, Adam? Sorry, just going on topic. All my kids at school, a lot of them are West Ham fans, and literally, that at the moment they're all doing bets with each other about West Ham going down. And I'm like, the season's not even started yet, fellas. Like,
I know. The thing is, like, I don't know. Well, talk about West Ham if you want, but the issue with it is that a lot of it is social media gaslighting. You're getting ITKs that have close sources to the club that are posting stuff out. They're being a messenger, which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't shoot the messenger, but it's making it more aware how bad our ownership is in terms of the lack of planning that's happening at the club. So it's it is hard to kind of. I can understand the relegation banter. I can, because we was in it last year. We was in a relegation battle last year, and we had won the transfer window. So, but it's going to be a hard. It's going to be hard season. I'm not going to lie, very hard.
But you're going to have 2 clubs that are worse than you already, Sunderland and Burnley. I don't know what Leeds are going to be like, But
Leeds will have the Red Bull and San Francisco 49ers, is it? They've got that investment as well. I think Burnley are backed by an American NFL guy as well, similar to Tom Brady sort of thing. And Sunderland's, don't know, anything could happen really. I think it's going to be the most competitive Premier League season we'll have, if I'm completely honest. Yeah,
I think you might be right. I actually think I don't think we'll get a runaway this season either. I think the relegations will be closer this year.
It all depends on what VAR does this season, I suppose.
I think because of the criticism this year of it being, well, relegation sorted, 5 games to go. Premier League was 8 games to go.
It was only like 22 games to go.
Yeah, it was only like Europa League place or Conference League place that was up for debate on the last day of the season, wasn't it? And I think Premier League
Liverpool won the most boring season in the world in the history, mate.
Yeah, the only time they won titles was when it was boring. Like one, it was during COVID and they couldn't celebrate it with their fans, and the other one was a one-horse race for third of the season to go.
I don't think you have to fear Sunderland. I've got a Sunderland mate, so I sort of follow them. A bit. There will be a
that's not very nice.
What, having a Sunderland mate?
or writing them off already.
Oh, we joke about it all the time. He knows it. He's even thinking about getting a season ticket for the next season just to live the misery in person. But no, they're a youngish team. They don't have the strength and depth, and they not quite lucked out getting into the Premier League, but they finished fifth in the league, and then they 2 last minute
Coventry
and then Sheffield United, who threw that game away. They're through. So I think it's going to be one of those. Their aim is just not to do worse than Derby. That's their
everyone's aim, isn't it? That's what Southampton were doing when they were relegated. We need to get more points than Derby.
Exactly. I think that's their first target. Everyone goes, we need 40 points for safety. No, we need 10 points to beat Derby, or whatever it is. So and then what happens? So it's it'll be a great for them, but I can't see anything about them. And
the bit that concerns me is that Sunderland have sold 2 of their key players. For almost just shy of £50 million, plus the £220 million that they're going to get from being in the Premier League. Like they got a lot of cash there that they could reinvest, and I think if they spend it wisely, I think they're talking about Jordan Henderson going back there as well. So you think that would be a great signing for them, like in terms of being a Sunderland boy and using Premier League experience. Like
he can't play 38 games though, can he? God.
Yeah, James Milner can for Brighton, but
James Milner didn't play 38 games for Brighton.
Well, he played a lot of games, didn't he? He signed a new contract as well.
Yeah, but he's a different level, isn't he? He's got something. He's got batteries or something in him.
Someone like Henderson will be a good signing, I think, for the club, but I don't know how much you can offer on the pitch. He'll offer something, but he can also get just run past by all the other fitter, younger, better players. So it's a tough one, because for someone like Sunderland, do you secure your future for the next 3, 4, 5 years, or do you just mortgage your future and trying to stay in the Premiership? And it's not like a Brentford or anything like that where they had good underlying metrics and good players there, and then also the way they run their club in terms of it was all very stats orientated and stuff like that. I think it was just very different. I think it's just unfortunate. Someone in claret and blue will be going down next season. That's what I'm going to say.
With hope.
We use the carrot and blue then as a segue into what you think is going to happen at West Ham in the transfer window.
Well, actually, Adam, I've got a question actually. With talking about West Ham, obviously I know you've got Potters at the moment, but what do you feel about Fruital going to Tottenham? Do you think that as a manager that you could have got in?
Frank,
whatever his name.
Frank.
What's his name? Frank. Yeah.
Thomas Frank.
Yeah, I like Thomas. I like Thomas Frank.
Because I think I could have seen him coming to West Ham at one point.
Yeah, Martin Allen, who
what did I say? Who the hell is Fruital?
I don't know, mate.
I've
It's
had,
You were getting Tuchel and Frank mixed up
Yeah.
as one
Mate.
hybrid Northern European person. So,
Yeah.
I've had
He's
two,
not
I've had
saying
two
it's his
glasses
dad's
of
German.
bloody prosecco, mate. I'm off on that.
Half term, so isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And Thomas Frank, I think he's probably, it's a match made in heaven. I think Spurs will want a manager that will not have to dip into the transfer market to get the best out of players, and I think he does that. But it will be interesting to see what will happen when he gets given a cash abundance and get into Champions League for the first time. It would be the first time he'll manage in Champions League. But I think he's a quality manager. I think he's a diamond. I listened to Martin Allen on another podcast, West Ham Way, and he raves about Thomas Frank, obviously with the Brentford connection. And like I say, he's someone that come in from Brøndby, I think, went and took him over in the Championship. I can't remember who he took over from. Might be Dean Smith or something. At Brentford.
yeah, it was. Yeah, he went to Villa. Yeah.
So then obviously he's helped grow that team and he's done well, and I think he'll do well. I think he's perfect for Spurs. Not so much for us.
Perfect for West Ham. I think he would have been good for West Ham.
I wouldn't have denied him. I would have liked him. Not gonna lie, but I think in terms of managers and perfect fits, I think Spurs and Frank.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Frank is really good at managing lower to middle Premiership clubs, so he's gone to Tottenham to do exactly the same job, so he's fine. No, I'm a member at Brentford. It's my localish club, and I used to steward there and whatnot, and it's sort of, I got mates who are season ticket holders there, so if Arsenal aren't playing, I'll sometimes go to watch Brentford play. And yeah, I'm disappointed because I like him. He's a nice guy. He's also a big fan of Arsenal. When you see him talking about Arsenal and stuff like that, so now we're gonna have to hate him, and I really don't want to hate him. You can easily hate their previous managers or dislike them. Frank, you're right, he's good, but he's unproven. He's then having to deal with Champions League, and he's having to deal with just Tottenham being Tottenham, Spurs being Spursy. Who knows? So yes, he's been very good at a level. So joking aside, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Will he take him to the next level? Don't know. Will he make them better? Will he make them better than Ange? Maybe a little bit more consistent, a little bit more solid, bit more pragmatic. But Spurs are Spurs at the end of the day.
Yeah. He's also annoyingly good against Arsenal. I think we need to say that out loud as well.
Just cover your arse on that one, Rob.
He is. He sets up his Brentford team, or did set up his Brentford team very good against Arsenal on occasion. There was a couple of times that Arsenal absolutely walloped them, but he did set up a good team against. He had that low block counter attack down against Arsenal.
He had the right players to be able to play it, though, didn't he? He had
Wissa and Bumo.
Exactly. Yeah, he had the right players to be able to play.
Well, he could just buy them at Spurs, can't he? Now.
They're linked to Bumo, aren't they? They're trying to hijack the Bumo deal, so maybe.
Yeah, they're after Kudus as well, which is.
I saw that. I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got told that last week, and it's only come in the press past couple of days or something. So, thing is, it's like we need to sell one of our assets and it has to be to Spurs. So be it. That's how bad the situation is at West Ham at the moment in terms of cash flow issues. But
Adam, I thought this was meant to be the year, mate. The 2005, 2026. The ground's up for grabs. The chairmans can go
after this season.
Next season.
No, next summer. 2026.
And they call Arsenal Netflix FC.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Call you Adam Evra.
Adam Evra. Jesus.
How did Ferguson work out? Because you were pretty when we spoke, on our pod about the West Ham game, and he was coming. And it was nice signing, free loan signing and stuff like that. How did that work out? And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I mean, genuinely.
I remember the conversation. So I think with Ferguson, it was. I don't think his work rate was high enough as what Potter expected. He wasn't getting enough minutes. We didn't have enough games to bring him in. So, like, if there was an offer on the table to say, look, we'll buy Evan Ferguson for 25 million, I'd still buy him because I still think there's a talent in there somewhere. I think it's probably a fitness issue. I think it's down to a lack of game time issue, but I like him. I think he could still do a job at West Ham, but I think he's kind of tainted that now because he hasn't performed under Potter, and it's Potter's signing, so it's kind of raised scrutiny amongst the fan base already. But I'd still be in favour of buying him.
Adam, how many games did he play?
I think he played a handful, but it wasn't even like full minutes. It was like he played one full half against Wolves, and then he got hooked off. He played like 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there. So again, I think it's just down to what he does in training is probably not enough for Potter to make him start a game. But I'd still buy him. Do
you not think, mate? Do you not think they just pulled your pants down and had you pay his wages for the end of the season?
Yeah, but we didn't really because we had no obligation to buying it.
No, but you should have paid wages. What was his wages?
Yeah, I know, but his wages. He was 19. He wouldn't have been on big wages.
No, he's only on like 10 grand a week.
10.
I bet he's on more than that. He's on
no,
more
he's
than
not.
that.
He's not. That's why they want to get rid of him because they know they can get a big fee for him, and his wage demands wouldn't be that high. He's still on a youth contract, Evan Ferguson. Yeah. That's why Brighton want to sell him to balance the PSR profit margin.
Well, you've got to think he's got to be a player they're looking at signing because we've already spoken about it. Brighton have been quite busy. Of the rest of the Premier League, they've been quite busy. And so you've got to think he's the easiest asset they could sell, especially to a British team or a team in the Premier League looking for the homegrown quota, all that type of stuff. Do they get homegrown for Evan Ferguson?
I don't think he is technically homegrown because they bought him young. How old is he now? He's 20. I think he has to have been at the academy for 3 seasons before the age of 18 or something. So I think they bought him in from an Irish team.
So he doesn't qualify?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that would be another selling point, wouldn't it? If that would have been, sorry, a selling point. But okay, never mind.
So it's like I say, it's a shame. I do like the kid. I do like him a lot. I just think, again, if it was a different manager that played a different formation, it'd probably suit well. Let's see what happens. But West Ham ain't buying anyone so quickly at the moment. So anyone we're being linked to is just got to take with a pinch of salt.
And what's happened with Antonio? Is it in his recovery?
Interestingly, there's a lot of debate again amongst the fan base in terms of should they give him a new contract, shouldn't they? For me personally, sentiment aside, I still think he could have something to offer for West Ham next season, despite being 35 years of age and broken his femur bone in 4 places. But physically, the way he has looked after himself in recent times, and the accident could have been a hell of a lot worse, but the fact he's recovered from it, or it appears that he's recovered from it, just shows how strong he actually is. Whether he'd be able to play at the top level again, I don't know, but he's played for Jamaica in a friendly in the Gold Cup that they lost 1-0 to.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say he played in goal.
In goal, yeah. One leg.
Yeah, he played for Jamaica in goal. Gold Cup, sorry.
Yeah, in the Gold Cup, yeah. So they lost to Guatemala or something. He played like 15 minutes or something and seemed to be reasonably moving okay. But it's interesting to think that he had his accident in December, I think first week of December, and he's back playing football already. And we got Somerville, who had a thigh strain, has got injured. He come back. He got injured in his return game, and he's still injured, and he'll be out until September. You think Antonio's had a car crash, operation, rehab, and played quicker than what Somerville has come back in. So it's
they say about muscles over bones, though, don't you? And they say that muscles are so much worse to kind of recover than bones are. I'm not saying that as like a I think what Antonio's done has been incredible.
It's a great story. It's a great story.
It's a fantastic story. But those muscles that you rip a muscle, mate, you'd rather break a bone. I think I think some of the case, isn't it?
100%.
A lot of the kids at school think that Summerfield's going to come good next year and be your best player.
Well, he's got to get fit first. There's no
No, I
point.
agree with you.
Yeah.
But a lot of the kids at school, and a lot of them are saying they reckon Somerville is going to be your golden gem.
Well, let's see what happens. But
The
I
thing
think
is,
he started.
it's not just him; it's the players around him. I think that need to.
Yeah,
I think he's a good player,
squad.
and he's a decent player. But yeah, you just need to have the team playing around him. And
We've got a good squad. It's just the style of play is just not what I expected, especially from Potter. And ever since we had Sean Whetstone on the show, and I was a bit more enthusiastic about Potter. I go, yeah, that's the guy we should be building around. And he went, give it 18 months, he'll be gone. I'm like, what? You give it 18 months, he'll be gone. And then it come out later that he's got a break clause in his contract in the last 18 months of his deal. So it could be like, well, was he trying to say something there, saying, well, he's not going to be manager this time next year? So I don't know what to think. I can't back the club at the minute because I don't know what the plan of action is. I don't know what we're going to play like. I don't know what players we're going to sign. I don't know whether the manager's going to be here. It's just it's a strange period to be supporting West Ham at the minute. Don't know what to think. That's the hard thing. I'd like to have an opinion on it. If we were buying players that were shit, at least I can call them out and say they're shit. There's something wrong. But we can't really say anything because we know the players we bought are good. We know the players we've got at the minute are good. And the players that want to come back want to leave, or the players that we got at the minute want to be sold, but nobody's buying them. So it's hard. It's hard to kind of.
But if you look at Arsenal, we've sort of got an identity. So then I'd ask, what's West Ham's identity at the moment? Who are you trying to be? Who are you trying to be? What are your goals for? It's not just about existing. What are your realistic goals, and what are the owners looking to do? I mean, look, even as Arsenal fans, we're not 100% certain. We've got an idea of what we're trying to achieve, who we're trying to be, where we're trying to go, and all the rest of it. What's the story with West Ham? Can you get behind it?
Eyes, in my eyes, the West Ham way is using academy products and progress well with those academy products, so that we don't have to buy our talent in. Because ideally, West Ham fans want to see fans play for the shirt. Like, that's why we love Souček. That's why we love Papo Fornells. That's why we love Mark Noble, is because they gave everything for us. Like, quality-wise is a bit indifferent, but we know that we're going to get 100% out of them. Whereas we get someone like Kudus, a incredibly talented player, but you know he don't want to be there, and it kind of like makes you think, well, what's the point of having an £80 million player if he don't really want to be here? So it's that kind of factor. Where I think we should be top of the rest. Where you've got your big six, and then you've got your other 14. We should be top of that 14 in 7th, looking to get Conference League again. That's where I think West Ham are at the moment. At the minute, we're well below par. Would you say we're a counter-attacking side? Would we say that we're a ball-playing side? I couldn't tell, because I don't really know. We're making far too many mistakes at the back, even with Potter coming in and shoring that up. We're not even progressive. Like, I would say with the types of goals that years ago when we had David Moyes, we were corner specialists. Every time we had a corner, we knew someone was going to be on the end of it and scoring. Now we haven't really got a set piece taker. We haven't really got an aerial threat in the box. So again, we don't know. We've lost that side to it. It's tough, mate. It's tough. But I think what the board's ambition is, realistically, is to stay up next season. They have to. They have to stay up, and because, like I say, it all depends on. Like, I keep going back to 2026. Is that everything is kind of teed up for the potential long-term lease of the London Stadium. You've got a brand new shirt sponsor. You've got a brand new kit manufacturer that's been agreed in New Balance. You've got a potential stadium sponsorship coming in. It's all this sort of things coming in, and new investors, new ownership, and there's far too many coincidences there, or things lining up to say that this season is probably West Ham's most important from an ownership point of view, because they don't want to spend a lot. How can I put it? If you've got a house for sale, you wouldn't spend lots of money doing an extension if you're aiming to sell it for a little uplift. You do an extension to do a big uplift, and that's where I think the club is at the minute. We're a nice house. It's got planning to put a conservatory at the back, but it's like, actually, if we just keep the valuation down, we'll let the other person do the conservatory. That's what it feels like, really.
And when's that new ownership
why have
coming
you got to
in?
wait for next year?
Why? It's just because of it's the London Stadium. The London Stadium is the key factor behind it, because it's now been handed over to the Greater London Authority from the LLDC. Now that they've got a new strategy in terms of how they're going to, the long-term plan for London Stadium. Like at the minute, West Ham have a 99-year lease with the LLDC, which has now been ported over to GLA. What they're trying to do now is to renew that lease to a 999-year lease, so it's similar to Man City. So West Ham get full control of that building, despite it being in Greater London Authority ownership. So we can extend it, we can convert it, we can host more events, we can do this. We'll be the sole person running that stadium. At the minute, we're playing in someone else's stadium. We dress it up with a bit of claret and blue flags, that's about it. But once we get that ownership or that rights, then that allows the new investors to come in and go, right, okay, I'm going to convert this stadium now because I've got the money to do it. So that's what it all depends on. Is that lease agreement with the GLA?
But my worry is, right, you're talking about all this business side of stuff and owning this and owning that. But ultimately, Adam, it comes to what's going on the pitch. Surely you want to have that
100%.
investment on the pitch.
That's the frustration. That is the frustration, mate. I mean, when we're being told that we're selling players, this goes back to Michael Bleasy's comment. What are your thoughts on Sean Whetstone posting we're only putting 75% of transfers back into the first team? So again, like the club are retaining a portion of the sale for a reason. So it's like it is an infrastructure investment, isn't it? So they're not only are they selling our best players on the pitch, now they're not giving the manager the full budget. So it's like we're going to do this on the cheap. It's like doing your house up and just putting a lick of paint over a crack and then try and sell it, isn't it? So that's effectively the way I'm looking at it from a West Ham point of view.
So how do you think your transfer window is going to go?
I think it's going to go slow. I think it'll be.
Do you think you'll get anyone in?
It depends on sales, mate. We haven't got sales where again Kudus needs to go, Aguerd needs to go, Alvarez needs to go. Yeah, then you've got fringe players like Irving needs to go. Will Prowse they're looking at selling as well. I think it's mad. I think you need to keep him. Paquetá could be sold if he's innocent. So there's a lot of assets there that could be sold, and then that is when we'll be able to buy players. But I think there'll probably be too much of an uplift if we sell all our assets, and then that could be an issue because that we're trying to buy players that we're hoping to make an instant impact, and we know that we ain't. Yeah.
Is there anything to look forward to?
Jesus.
New kit comes out in July.
Is that the Umbro 100 years? Is that the Umbro 100 years one or whatever it is?
130 years of Thames Ironworks, since Thames Ironworks. But it's 125 years of West Ham United. But the club are deciding to honour the Thames Ironwork formation. Apparently, Ball Sports is going to be the sponsor on the shirt. Still going to be Umbro. I've been told that it's not a round neck; it's like a V-neck crossover. And I've heard that there's blue under the armpits and not blue sleeves, so it's going to be like an all claret top.
You designed it?
I've done a mock of it, but I've been told that's what it is borderline on. And I know that the shirt has been filmed at Hackney Marshes. That the shirt, all the footage, all the announcement video has been shot at Hackney Marshes. So,
very good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
whose shirt are you getting? Whose name are you getting on your back?
You've
got no squad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. TBC. TB continue.
2006, mate. 2026.
Get Tevez. Get Tevez.
Tevez, mate, we could sign him up. He's a free agent. He scored 4 goals at a weekend, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. He looks sharp, mate.
Yeah, he does.
He looks fat.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Did you see talking of Gingers earlier? Did you see Angry Ginger's injury to Tevez's leg?
No.
Or Tevez stamped on him. Like he went for a ball, but he followed through with a foot and hit him just underneath the calf. And Angry Ginger's done a live stream, and he went, "Yeah, look at my injury with Tevez. Honestly, it's like this massive gash, and his whole leg is ballooned up and bruised.
Wow.
Like it's a proper war wound. I must admit."
At least you can say Tevez did that, yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's it.
And he's a Man United fan. Yeah.
Wait, Tad, bring that back. Isn't that what you get for signing up to the Junior Gunners?
Oh no, it's another.
Oh right. So my son got one. My son got one last year.
Yeah, Tabs has just signed his teen. He's a university kid up for it.
Yeah, exactly. My boy's a junior gunner. So
Well done
just
for
so I can get all
passing your
the
A-levels,
just
mate.
so I can get all the nonsense merch.
Adam, read them out because I ain't got my glasses on.
Yeah, but they all say that.
They're fucking slime balls, mate. Our owners, honestly, don't judge it till the end of the window. Well, we judged it at the end of the last window and we fucking won it. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I would suggest someone like West Ham. I'd say with West Ham, you're waiting for things to happen and then see where you get the market opportunities are and stuff. I don't think you're going to be driving the window. I think you're going to be more reactive than proactive in terms of where you are. You know, some person comes in, that means someone else needs to leave, and you think, oh, okay, maybe that's an opportunity, which I always find very interesting because you look at the way Arsenal do business. They spend forever and a day assessing a player, looking at a player, meeting, blah 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 blah. You know, Sesko is like 2 years in the making. We still don't know if we're going to get him. Yeah. But then you see other clubs be more reactive. Now, I think there's a balance somewhere in between. But that's and the thing is also the end of the window. That could be too late because I don't know when is the end of the window. Is it end of August?
It is after the 3rd Premier League game.
Yeah,
and end of August,
So imagine you go into playing your opening 3 Premier League games and you're still deciding. I hate that whole still trying to decide your squad, who's playing and
it should close before the season starts.
Yeah,
that's because fans buy the season tickets based on who's at the club, really, don't they? Like at the minute, West Ham bought season tickets. They got Paqueta, they got Bowen, they got Kudus, they got Alvarez, and then it comes to the first game against Sunderland away. We've sold them all. It's like,
It's tricky, and I know. Also, imagine you lose those first 3 games. That's already 9 points down, and you're still trying to get your squad. And then they'll be ready because then they have to bed in and all that shit. So it's not until October that your squad is ready, and that's already 6 Premier League games. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, isn't it? That's the thing. Like we've been linked with a lot of Chelsea players at the moment because of obviously they need to offload their players. And they're interested in Kudus, so they try to do some part exchange. Now we've got Chelsea the second game of the season at home. That ain't going to happen all summer. That if anything, that's going to happen in the last week.
Can you get Mudryk on a free? I think.
So I've heard he's a good player.
Just has a drug problem.
Yeah, that's it. We all do, one way or another.
And how is your fixture? How is West Ham's fixture? I mean, as I said, breaking news. Everyone has to play everyone home and away throughout the season. So
that's what Rob said, and he's short.
It's like, wow, what a surprise! I was really pissed off when I found out that, but there we go. So what's West Ham's opening 6 games looking like?
So we got Sunderland away. There has been an interesting stat to come out that said no promoted side has won their first game of the season after being promoted in the past 8 seasons. Step up West Ham as they go to Sunderland. We've got Chelsea at home, then we've got Forest away, and then we've got Spurs
at home.
Spurs at home. I can't remember the
you've got Palace at home and Everton away.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you're guaranteed 6 points, so Sunderland and Spurs, so that's fine. So that's okay.
Well, I've done a prediction of all the results and thinking, where are we going to get points and what's the draw? And I predicted we get 39 points.
That's enough these days.
And I said that's safety just. So it's
It's no longer 40 points. The old 40 points for safety is not the.
It's like 35 now, isn't it? 35, 36, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that sort of comes into how competitive the league is as well. I think, as you said, like, I don't know, so a lot of people go, "Oh, that's a negative thing. You know, why is it lowered?" But it's only because obviously everyone's nicking points of everyone.
Yeah,
so actually, it's actually a good thing.
So much more.
Well, we got relegated with 42 points one season, so that's the highest record. And that remains the highest record. I mean, we've finished on 42 points in many seasons and finished 12th. Yeah, it's just crazy. And it finished 42 points and get relegated. But that was when we had Cole, Carrick, Defoe, Di Canio, Glenn Johnson. Yeah, we had a great squad, but Roda ruined it, sadly. But yeah, it is what it is. West Ham way.
Game on Saturday, 4th of October at the
Sorry,
Emirates.
you muted yourself there, Tabs, I think.
Did I? No. Oh, you were
right. You talked about the Dodge Derby?
Yeah. The Rice Derby, yeah.
Oh, Rice Derby.
The Rice Derby on the 4th of October.
It's flips again, isn't it, now? So we're playing at your place first and then your place hours afterwards. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
When are we playing away? Oh, you're part of our title running. Third game. So we got Fulham home, West Ham away, Burnley home, Palace away. So that's if we're in it, that's a generous final 4 games.
It is.
That's a really, really, really nice final 4. But we need to be in it.
The first 6 aren't quite so generous. I will say that. I don't think
we'll have it won by then.
Well, yeah, maybe. There you go, guard of honour. There you go, guard of honour at the.
Hopefully, we'll be safe by then, so you can beat us.
Yeah, you might do us a job after you've ruined our seasons for the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's it. I'll tell you what, Rice. That'll be it, won't it? That'll be the headlines. West Ham give Rice the title.
Yeah, we win it at West Ham. That'd be it. Yeah.
Oh dear, the memes for that.
Memes. Yeah. Right, should we call it a night, boys?
Yeah, I've got to be up at 4:30 tomorrow.
You got to go where?
I've got to be up at 4:30 tomorrow. I've got to go to Bournemouth. So
don't worry, Rob. I'll be up as well because Bo will probably want to get up and play cars.
Yeah,
well, it's ridiculous at the moment when it's so light. Jesus, like as soon as anyone wakes up, that's it. Like and do you have dogs or any pets? So when you hear when the birds are chirping or foxes, it's like yap barking galore.
No, my dog don't do that. He just if he just gets up and scratches, and then the whole house vibrates. Like
it's such a lump when it sees me, mate.
Yeah.
Take it personal.
It's the Tash, mate. Told you, it's the Tash.
I might get rid of it. It does curl.
It's a Blink 182 rectifier, isn't it?
Like curls.
Or Freddie Mercury.
Right. What did you say? Freddie Mercury.
Freddie
Mercury didn't have the towels, did he? Did he have the towels? He only had it here, didn't he? He didn't have the rest of it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I like it, so I don't care.
It's better than Charlie Chaplin. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I definitely don't want one of those. Right. Okay, I'm going to go. It's a pleasure, lad.
Night, fellas.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Take care.
Look after yourselves.
Thanks.
Oh, Tabs, do you want to talk about your pod real quick? Tell us about your pod.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Come and find me at the Grove AFC on the usual places on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You find me on Threads, Twitter, Blue Sky. Hanging out of my window, whatever, just talking shit about Arsenal. So there we go.
Hanging out of whose window?
My window. So anyway, lads, thanks for inviting me on. Good luck with everything, and speak to you again soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Night.
Hola, and we cheer, and we spill a bit of beer. Raise a glass to the past and the mates who ain't here. From Highbury to Upton Park, it's now Ashburton and Stratford for a lark. It's the Old Dad's Our Job podcast, the heart of the game.